Hold it. Is it? Is it? Come on. Hold it. Oh, hang on. You know what I could do? I could like move it down like this. Couldn't I? Is that going to work? Hello, people watching. People of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is not important whatsoever in the slightest. Hello, how are you? It's Saturday night. Have you got your bananas out? All right, it's a retro TV thing. I'm just going to go and I should have probably grabbed things beforehand. I do have something in pieces on the bench, which I was hoping to do last week. And maybe after this, I will stay up and get that done. So it's off the bench, and outside is just a plethora, a sea of disorganization, if you will. This is not only the feature tonight, but it's the new stuff. And it comes with a story, which is good. So feel free to ask anything, comment in the chat, tell me if you can't hear or see me, and I will try and fix it if I can. If I can't, well, enjoy the sign language and try to guess exactly what I'm saying. I need some stuff for cleaning. So I'm going to go and try and find some rags and some cleaning supplies. And you can just gaze at the wondrousness of this Toshiba color television that I found at the side of the road. And I'll just shuffle some things around so we can have a deeper dive into this good evening. Oh, edging past because I've got a big ass. Cleaning stuff. There's some cleaning stuff. There's a bit there. That'll help. That'll be good for cleaning. And maybe this will be good for cleaning. Like that. And I can probably cut some bits up for cleaning as well. And that's good for sort of dusting off. So got to have the old jocks for dusting, don't you? And there's some scissors up there that I can use for cutting, so that will be good. What else have I got that might help with cleaning? Got a bit of a brush there, some IPA. That's all handy stuff that's needed for cleaning. And we'll try and get on with the show, but oh my god, it's just a sea of disorganization here. Or maybe paper towels, they might be handy. Some scissors for cutting up rags, that might be handy. Anything else that's jumping out? No, I don't have a cup of coffee. I will get to channel recommendations very shortly. And some things that have gone on in the week. Like the story of this gear that I've had for months, and then I had to open and realize that's not masking tape. It's some sort of weird blue packing gaffer masking tape hybrid that was no good for what I needed. But now I have weird blue tape, and I'm trying to find a use for weird blue tape. If you can think of a use for weird blue tape, let me know. All right. What is that? Okay. I think that's it. I've got a brush. A little brush. Maybe I've got a brush. Oh, I know I've got a brush. It's probably a brush down here. Perfect. This might be the brush that we want. Ow! So, let me just try and sort of, the best view of this, which I'm not sure is actually possible, but I will try my hardest to get a good view for you. Maybe that's it. So let's crack on. I'll move stuff out of the way, and hopefully I will find all these things that I have here as I need them. There's quite a bit of heavy scratching up there. So I don't know whether some kind of polish might be in order afterwards. But let's try and sort of undo the mess. And I will... Oh, well, that needs a repair, doesn't it? And so there you go. That might be later on in the piece. It's just stripping back some cable if it's a bit long and wrapping it around the terminal, so I should be able to do that, hopefully. I just realized I leant in and talked very loudly into the camera, so I'm sorry. Now I'm trying to see into the top here, which you can't see. Let me try and tilt this up without tipping up the whole thing. Oh, it's very front heavy. I'm trying to see in here, in there, because it does sort of look like a piece has broken out there. But that is also a separate piece. So some back removal may be necessary later on in the piece. Probably not tonight. What I'd like to do is sort of I would have liked to have done the sort of, one of those fake restoration videos, but real, sort of ASMR restoration cleanup of this. But that's okay. You know what I should do? I should turn it around. So it's got this sort of RF module in there. I wonder if it'll be as interesting. It obviously has a screw in there. You slide it up and probably can pull it out. It would be very interesting to see. I wonder if that's a screw that's missing. So there's one missing there. There's one missing up here. It's not boding well. There's one there. Maybe I can find some that'll fit. Maybe some from one of the Philips VCRs will fit. What does it say on here? It's a Toshiba model number 147E3A, made in Japan. An actual, that's money in itself. JDM, official JDM television. Probably back from a time when there was still plenty of people going, it's made in Japan, it must be crap. And they certainly wouldn't say that now. Now we've substituted to different countries that we believe because they have cheap labour. But it must obviously be rubbish. But see, there's a screw missing here as well. Where did I find this? I found this at the side of the road last weekend. Why did I pick it up? Well, I even found it was actually a large TV today, and it was a Philips, but I just couldn't pick it up on my own. I'm always on the lookout for little TVs, because nostalgia is a very dangerous thing, and I suffer from nostalgia terribly. But particularly these kind of things, they do very much remind me of being a younger person. This is what things looked like when I was a kid. There were people that had TVs like this, and people worked very hard for things like this. Now I shouldn't really lean it back, but I need to get to these spider eggs here. Oh, my catch! Spider eggs and mouse poo and anything else that's in here. And I've also noticed that this is bent, this power and volume knob cover. So I'm going to need to come up with some kind of strategy for removing it, straightening it as best I can, and putting it back. I'm guessing contact adhesive will be the go. But what I don't really know... Oh, wow, it's even got its little tuning doodad. It's still there. There you go, Dad. It's still got its little tuning tool. Because this is, this obviously has an analog tuner. So it won't pick up digital signals, but what I'd like to be able to do is see if I can get it working through a set-top box and maybe play some kind of DVD video through it. That'd be cool. I don't know if there is a way this glass comes off. Oh no, it looks like there are some slide up clips or something. So if that is the case, whoa, hello. Where to go? There. They haven't broken. There are some little slide up clips that reveal some little spring tabs for the screws to go in, or for the clips to go in. So I can actually remove that glass and give it a clean after. but I will leave it as is for now. But that's good to know. So obviously you can tilt the glass forward and lift it out of this ledge, and I'll be able to get to this gear under here. Good to know for now. But right now, let's clean off most of the bird poo and the stuff outside, so that when you clean inside, you don't introduce more mess. I found this at the side of the road. I actually drove past it 5 or 6 times. I was going to go and pick it up, kept forgetting. And then we were going to pick up our son, and I just said, oh, hang on, I just need to get something. And my Mrs. Jimmy Bav was very nicely saying, ooh, what is it? And I said, oh, there's a little telly that I've been driving past all day, and it looks quite old. I thought perhaps, I think Sony did some little CRTs like this, but little Sony televisions, little Sony Trinitrons are worth big dollars. You know, they really attract the cash. And my stuff, the stuff that I'm looking for, the Philips gear, people don't necessarily want, but they've thrown it all away since then. And now everyone is rescuing every Sony picture tube that they can find from the hard rubbish. I'm just picking a rag. So I think the chances of me finding a little sort of 13, 14-inch Philips television are very, very low. The other one behind me that I got, the little 9-inch one, was purely out of luck on a Facebook Marketplace ad that somebody had said, I'm looking for, I need a little television, an old TV, box type TV. And somebody said, I've got a Philips one. And the person I was replying to, because I had a couple of older ones as well, and I was trying to say, look, I've got some and you can have one. But they never replied to my messages, so I figured they probably also never replied to the Philips guy's message. So I messaged Philips guy and said, would you like to sell me your Philips TV? Which he said yes. So that's good. Cleaning off the mouse poo. Wow, it's really on there. Ugh. It's really on there. I'm guessing mouse crap has probably got some kind of acidic quality. I wonder whether I'll need more than a small serving of IPA to get it off. Might need something a bit more, substantial. I have to sort of, might even be like toothbrush and IPA territory. Because look, it just doesn't want to let go at all. But I am cutting through lots and lots of the schmutz. But yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really want to relinquish its hold too well. I should also say thank you to everyone that's watching, everyone that's subscribed, everyone that's suggested subscribing. The channel, I had a goal, I think I said last week, or not last week, in the previous stream, of 200 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm currently 4 subscribers away towards the middle of February, which is completely bonkers. And thank you to everyone that's been watching the shorts, and including, even if you only watched the short about shorts this week, about my dilemmas trying to buy shorts for work. That was nice. It was good to see people engaging with that, and I'm truly flattered. Also, to anyone that has commented or just give me a like or even a thumbs down, engagement is really helpful. It lets me know that what I'm doing isn't a complete waste of time. So any kind of engagement is fine. I'm not precious about that, to be fair. Although, to be said, if you've seen my Am I a Real Woodworker videos this week, that was due to a bit of a confidence knock from the weekend before last, because I'd received kind of a generally positive spin on my pallet video, on the coffee table video. And as far as a long form video, it's actually the best long form video I've ever made. Yeah, with the exception of, and I probably shouldn't really go for, exception of the original ones where I was changing the oil on my motorbike back in 2007, 2008, sometime around then. So it was the longest, the highest and quickest, steepest success that I'd had. Some other videos are getting up there in terms of views now, but in terms of views for a week or a fortnight, I hadn't produced anything that was even close to that before. And I think I probably got a bit, I don't know, a little bit over ambitious. And I sent the pallet video to a fellow, I shouldn't say a fellow, because I really didn't feel like I was, and I hate talking about feelings like this. I really didn't feel, I thought at the time I was sending it to a fellow Australian woodworker, in the hope that maybe they'd say, that's kind of funny, I might share that, or yeah, cool, keep it up, that was really cool, I just enjoyed that, and I sent it to them because they were asking to see what Australian or what woodworkers were making, and so I sent it to them, and the response I got was kind of cold, I suppose. And so that was the confidence knock, me thinking, well, I'm not making resin pour rivet tables, I'm not cutting down my own trees and weathering my own wood, I'm not flattening my own slabs or any of that stuff. The wood that I use to make boxes and stuff comes from the bin, and it's offcuts and it's just junk around the place. And so it did make me think, well, gee, am I a legit woodworker? But I suppose doing things like this let people know that I'm not, or give people the impression that I'm not. So that was a bit of a kick in the pants, but it did also try and inspire me to boost my viewership by other means. And by other means, it was really hitting the shorts format really hard the last week, and trying to produce at least a video most days that would generate anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 views. That was the goal, and that has well and truly been achieved. I'm stunned, like I say. Some of the things, even the Am I a Woodworker? Well, I just wanted to actually show anyone that was watching that I have actually made some things, but my woodworking chops have been developed probably on the slow path. I wouldn't say that I've ever been able to just, jump in and do this kind of stuff really quickly. It's not my main gig. At the end of the day, I was when I first started woodworking, I was a primary school teacher. Now I'm a high school teacher first. And anything else, obviously, I would love to be able to say I'm a parent first, but I'm not that good a teacher, and I have to be a teacher first because I'm not very organized. So I don't have a lot of time to do things, and being a teacher, being a parent comes before everything, which was one of the draw cards of 3D printing. The fact that you can at least be making something while you're away from the thing that's doing most of the grunt work. So yeah, I guess I got a big head. I had a reality check, and I don't think the person was deliberately rude. It was just kind of jarring for my ego, and it's inspired me to make some videos that have got plenty of views for me. So I can't be too upset about that. My dad used to say sometimes a fingernail is really powerful when you're cleaning things, because they're not particularly abrasive. They're good at just sort of getting. It's almost like someone has colored this in with like paint pen or something, but I think it's just the gunk that has settled into the sort of matte finish on this. I wish I had some Mr. Sheen with me, but I don't have any. Not Mr. Sheen, Spray and Wipe. Can you name products on YouTube? I don't know. If Spray and Wipe want to send me a bottle, feel free. I'll use it. I'm not I'm not above that. Either that or it is the IPA is actually stripping the paint off, because it could be that old. It might be wearing down the sort of lacquer finish on it. It's definitely less tacky than it was, but this stuff is coming off. So that was the story of the week. But like I say, more than happy with the output, the result. And I don't mean the guy any malice at all. He obviously would receive quite a few people, trying to get their 15 seconds of YouTube exposure on a platform. They all want to do well. And I guess it's just not my time at the moment. But if I keep working at it, my time will come. I'm not sure when it'll be, but I'm not sort of doing YouTube as a hope of, maybe one day I can give up working. I have a lot of students that have aspirations of YouTube fandom, and I try not to mention my channel, partially because I don't want them looking it up, but also by saying, the Mighty Car Mods boys have always said, you've got to do YouTube because you enjoy doing YouTube, not because you think it's going to make you rich and famous. And I definitely agree with that. You've got to do something because you enjoy doing it. Because it's certainly, I've commented today, it's a fickle thing. I spent hours, probably 8 or 9 hours, editing the TARDIS 3D print video, and maybe 50 people have seen it. And the video that honestly took about 4 minutes to film, edit, and upload, of me pulling the tape off of the paint lines for the Nerf gun box, got 2,000 views in a night. So YouTube and the internet viewing public are fickle at best, I'd say. I'd also like to take the cover off this and blow it out, but I can't do that tonight because I have neighbours, and I wouldn't want to upset them. We lived at a place where we upset the neighbours once. We don't want to go back there. We don't want to do that again. So anyway, this TV, upon posting that I'd found this at the side of the road, a friend of ours who we used to, she's married to someone else that we used to work with, so we worked with them both, my wife and I, Mrs. Jimmy Bav and myself. We worked with this person and her husband before and after they became husband and wife. Mentioned that her mum had a TV like this, and without going into lots and lots of detail, she really tragically lost her mum while she was still working at the same school that we're at. That was a lot of IPA that's just spilled on my shoes. That's all right. Never mind. She really tragically lost her mum, and she mentioned that her mum had one of these TVs, and one of her, fondest memories was sitting on her mum's bed watching TV on one of these. And so it got me thinking, well, if there was ever someone who could maybe use that little touch of nostalgia, and how nostalgia could be a good thing for someone, maybe this is it. So I would like to get this working. Well, it is working, but tidy it up. Make sure everything is doing it what it should. Maybe give a set-top box, if I can find a cheap or a free set-top box around the place, and bring it down to her and give it to her as a, something that will make her feel that little bit better. And hey, I get to make a video out of it. And I also get to spend some time with this cool little machine. And I don't think any of those are bad things. So that's the plan for this little Toshiba TV. I don't know how well it's going to... this always makes a great part of a video when you clean the cord. Whenever we do Scott's Back Shack videos, there's always a section about cleaning the cord. Ready? So let's look at this cloth now. You just sort of pull the cord through. It's also a good way to find out if there's any damage to the insulation, because you'll feel it snag. We'll go back the other way just to make sure we've got it all. Particularly, this one doesn't smell like it's been in a smoker's house, but there you go. That's the grot from the cord. Sometimes when the rag turns yellow, you know it's been in a smoker's house. But little things like this, these were always in my dad's workshop. Some other videos coming soon that I would like to do. There will be. The trouble is, I should think about what I'm going to say before I say it. I was at the school parent night the other night, and someone actually came up to me and said, "I saw your video of the pallet coffee table thing. I thought it was really clever. I laughed out loud when you trudged back outside to collect it." Which, you know, that gave me a bit of a boost, which, as I've already kind of gone on about this week, I really needed. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just sort of roughly loop it through. I think this is how my dad used to do it. He was also very good at a windy one. I wasn't very good at that when I used to do it, so that was how I did it when I was helping in the shop on the odd occasion. I mean, look, it's not going to be perfect, but it is a damn sight better than what it was. What was I getting at? Oh yeah, so this person had seen my video, and that gave me a bit of a boost, and asked me what the next one was. And I have an idea for another funny video with something I've been asked to make, but I don't know whether it's too much of a mix of my YouTube persona, you know, what I do on the channel, and my professional life. It might be treading too close, so I'm not sure what to do there. Sorry, I thought somebody was coming through the door. It might have been the boogeyman, but it isn't. It's the wind, as it usually is the first time in horror movies before the real boogeyman's there. So there we go. But hey, if a boogeyman does appear, I'm sorry. I'm just going to throw the telly at them. All right, let's see. Now these pull out like that. One. I'm going to put them over here. They're on the workbench, so when I lose them in about 10 minutes, somebody's going to have to say, they're on the workbench. One clip, two clips. Okay. I'm hoping this is tempered glass. Ooh. Okay. Put that down there. Might need to get some gloves for that in a minute. IPA. I think IPA is probably the go-to. What I might do is just sort of use this dampened rag that's got all manner of cool cleaning stuff on it to just kind of ew. Gross. That's gross, man. This is the... I'm not sure what the black stripe means. I'll have to look that up. I love the buttons on it. These buttons... Oh, the buttons just get me. They really do. Let me see if I can just Gina G this a little bit. If you don't know who Gina G is, that was a very clever pun that I just made. I'm almost having one of those nights, to be fair, and it's nothing against anyone that's watching. I would actually really like to just sort of be tidying up the workshop with some music on in the background. That wouldn't be a bad thing for me. It's a busy week approaching. Mrs. Jimmy is going to the big smoke because she fell off the slip and slide on New Year's Day, and she is going to see a doctor to hopefully tell her that her foot is going to be fine. But I think she's a little bit worried. I think she's a bit nervous because I don't think we've really been apart. Sign of we really kind of need each other. So we've never really been apart from each other. It's kind of like kids that have never had a sleepover before. We've not really been away for a long period of time. And even when we have been away, we've often been in the same city. And that's not going to happen this time around because I'm going to stay with Scott's Vac Shack and do the dad work thing. And she's going to go and get pronounced healthy. And then we'll all be back and ready to rock and roll. But that's the skinny on it right now. I will get to channel recommendations. The trouble is I've got my list somewhere, and that now you might be thinking, why the hell is he taking the lid off that? Because the sprayer is spraying more on my fingers than actually is on the glass. So I'm just gonna, this is kind of like a sudsy type screen cleaner type gear. I'm really hoping it's going to do wonders on this glass. But I'm realizing I probably need gloves. It's getting there. What do they call it? Is this an astringent? Is that what IPA actually is? It's sort of a... I don't think this will be lint-free enough to clean this glass, so I'm going to have to go with paper towel. But at least that will hopefully give it a good clean and let me pick it up, hopefully only touching the edge and the inside. It's got little chamfers on it, chamfer all the things. Oh no. Have I done it? Maybe I've done it. There we go. Alright, now let's have another go with this. Ugh. Well, there is some schmutz coming off it, so I actually don't know whether the glass needs to be a certain way around, but we'll find out in a moment. I need to be like that Nathan Siverite and be, get sponsored by the eucalyptus oil people. Look at that. That's looking quite nice. There's still a bit of junk that's come off it. That's looking all right. I'm okay with that. And fortunately, I should be able to plug this in and at least get some static on display for you. I'm looking for an antenna to go on the shed so I can test things like this out because, I do hope that one day I can actually... I've actually ordered a, what's it called, an RF modulator so that I can plug in a DVD player into the antenna thing of this and actually play it through the modulator, which would mean that I can use my little Philips thing and I can actually show you that working, which would be lovely. I'd love to do that. Ew, it's covered in a layer of filth, so we might have to do a cleaning video for that. Let me see if we've got a toothbrush or something that I can get to this with. I think... Is that a toothbrush? No. Might be out of luck there. No toothbrushes. It's just going to have to be more specialized anti-schmutzing, maybe with some of this sort of more soapy gear. I wonder if bug and tar removal would work. I don't know. Maybe some kind of automotive bug and tar remover stuff or some. I'm not necessarily want to go so far as gumption, because I think that would probably damage the finish a bit. But there is definitely some. There's probably bits of paint and stuff on there too. What have I got that I can try? I don't know. I don't have bloody anything that I need. Right, try some more screen cleaner. It seems to be doing everything else. Why not? Let's give it another go. Screen cleaner. Test one. Take one. Well, it's not. That's doing all right, actually. I think what's happened though is actually the mouse poo or whatever this is has actually damaged the finish. I think that's what might have happened. It's, it's cleaned. It's certainly not on there anymore, but it has kind of taken the sheen off a bit. Well, there is stuff coming off there. Tonight I clean a TV. There you go. So this is pretty much all the new stuff. I should thank Aussie Matt. Aussie Matt helped fix my drill press. So thank you to Aussie Matt, who has single-handedly made it possible for my newest actual woodworking project to get completed, because I needed a drill press to do it, because I can't drill straight holes with a hand drill. And maybe that's another reason that I'm not a real woodworker. But never mind. Oh, and the router table. You would have seen the videos of the router table that just went poopy in its trousers. And fortunately, the Buy Me a Coffee thing has already yielded me, I think, $7 towards a new router. So if anyone wants to buy me a coffee, I should probably work out how to put a link to that in my videos. But that would be very presumptuous to think that people want to give me money. What have I done for them? Other than, turn on the camera while I just do things that I like doing. I think it's at a stage where I can at least, maybe I'll just give this a little bit, another go. Oh yeah, that's, tell you what, that screen cleaner's not bad. It seems to be a bit more sort of soapy than the IPA. That's quite good. Can I get around here with it? Oh yeah. Ooh yeah, ooh yeah. What I'm wondering is if I can... No, this is plastics and it's just been torn off. I'm wondering whether I'd be able to find a way I could glue that back down. I think it's just going to be an imperfection that needs to be lived with. But never mind. That's pretty good. That's not a bad, first go. The glass is looking much nicer. There's no sort of trapped dirt in and around the screen, which is good. Shall we plug it in and see what it does? And then I can get on to my channel recommendations. Let's see. Whoa, haha. You know what would be good? Put the clips back for the glass. That would be good, Jim. Let's do that. Clip. Whew. That was a lucky escape. I wonder if my dad ever did that on one of these kind of tellies before, lifted it up and crash. Would you just get normal glass? Would you just get, go to your local glazier? Ours used to be called Pilkingtons. There was a lady that we knew that always used to call it Pinkletons, and it made me laugh. You shouldn't laugh at people that can't pronounce things, but it's funny. Pinkletons glass. And I remember stupidly when I was in high school and failing tech studies, true story, we made a coffee table, and we made it in a I think the whole point about making this coffee table that Mr. Willsmore, the teacher, was trying to get across was the production line. Like Henry Ford, everyone had a job to do. unfortunately gave the person that couldn't measure or drill straight the job of drilling all the holes for the dowel to join the apron rails to the legs of the coffee table. So everyone's coffee table was just not able to be assembled, apart from the few that Mr. Willsmore sort of went back through and fixed. And he didn't get to everyone's. My table got finished eventually, but it got finished by myself and my grandpa, basically with one dowel and lots of glue holding it together. And I was going to go and get some glass for the top, and I remember the lady taking me to Pinkelton's to get some glass, but then the glass was a bit too dear at the time, so I put a wooden top on it instead. Made out of 2 pieces of pine, and it's still there. In fact, I just put it in a video tonight. If you go back and look in my shorts feed, you will see that video is that table is still there. In fact, in that video, I think I showed 4 tables. No, 3 tables, and I should have shown 4 because there's an extra one there. All right, I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to turn it off at the sparky board first. Right, I'm going to turn it on there. All right, it is energized. Now I remember with this, I was trying to push it in and like twist it and like, oh, I don't know how it works. Pull it out. That sounds wrong. I hear sound. Scan rate. Let's see. We have snow. And I don't mean the bad Canadian rapper whose album was the first record I ever bought. I love these buttons so much. I love that. I'd call that a success. You know, obviously got to take the back off it and blow all the dust bunnies out and see if... But see, it does look like this has snapped off in the back there. So what I need to find out is this snapped off in there, or has that snapped off as well? That will be something to look into. Be very cool to find out if this, if I can show it, if this part, which appears to be independent, I don't think it pops out on its own, but if in here is not only, let's see, it looks like that's the top piece of this. Anyway, maybe you can 3D print a rabbit ear's leg and stick that in there for the sake of testing it out. Does need a bit of a clean though, doesn't it? Should never clean things like this. This is the punishment. Should be. No, it's the joke in tech studies that if you have to sand a dowel, you never sand it like this. You know, overhand and yeah. And you never sand a dowel by saying, I'll hold it, and you go. Never do that either. But for some reason, some teenagers, that's a very natural method for sanding a dowel. Don't know why. Don't know why. I'm guessing I can just strip this back. You know, I know there's this ribbon bit, but I'm pretty sure I can probably straighten this out enough to get that around the screw terminal. So let me move this out of the way, and I'll see if I can squeeze enough room on the bench to have a go. All right, moving crapola out of the way. I need to unplug that. We'll see. And then I will get to channel recommendations right before the end. And I will also put channel recommendations in the description. But I'm also going to have to start looking for some screws, possibly from maybe one of the VCRs that is being scrapped. The Philips VCR is knackered. But I do have an idea. I have an idea to put it to use so it doesn't, its life is not lost in vain. But yeah, I'm a bit concerned that every time I pick that up by the handle, I'm going to lose the whole thing. Let's move this out. What else is happening? Project updates. The Nerf gun box is painted. It is very, very close to being installed in the house. There are two remaining issues with the Nerf gun box. Issue the first is that the wall in the house seems to have steel studs, and I don't have a way of locating them easily, which makes it very difficult when you're trying to drill screws in, because it's almost like the plasterboard is like dabbed right on top of brickwork, which would then mean I have to sort of find a way to anchor that down, which I don't really have. You can see, there we go, the clock radio CD player is still here, which makes it a little bit strange. Oh, hello. Duolingo wants me to do a lesson, and I won't. Right. Very good. Duolingo is, let me see them all. The trouble is with my recommendations, there are so many good channels. There really are, and I'm having trouble deciding which ones I should recommend. Obviously, language learning for beginners. A channel I wanted to recommend this week, just because he did a great video that really hit home for me about what's been going on in my head, is the Woodfather, Mario over at the Woodfather. And there's a video that he did with his hand tools cabinet. I've been watching Mario's videos for a few years, and I have yet to get around to making the giant shoebox, but that was how I discovered his talents, was the giant shoebox video. But he does some really cool stuff, and he is very, very much worth a look. Check him out. And I'll try and find a screwdriver. Oh, no ball socket one. Never mind. Okay. Is that enough to... Okay. So, now I don't know if it really matters which end these go on, but, you know, I suppose that goes down like that, and then that goes on there like that. So, definitely very... I suppose I can always strip some more of this back, and... Sorry, I'll lower you down. I'm guessing I can strip some more of this back, and it doesn't matter about this. I can just cut this back as needed. And you know what? If I wreck what looks like a cheap antenna, I'll live with it. But I don't think it will matter too much. So let me find... I'm just going to step outside to find a stripper. Yes, make your own jokes. That's fine. Not a problem. Talk among yourselves. Where is my stripper? Oh, hey, there's a hiding in here. I think I hide all my strippers under the table now. Do I? No, that's not it. That's not her. There she is. My favourite stripper. I'm trying to get used to this one still, but it just... I want to love it. It's like... I think I would be... You know how every woodworker owns a Festool domino, and how it apparently makes everything so easy and joyous and breezy? I think I would be the only person that would struggle to use a Festool domino. It's just how it feels to me. Anywho, so this one, I don't even know what this is for. It's knurled. I think it's meant to be for like tension on the spring. But and this is meant to move back, so the amount that you strip off changes. But to be honest, when I move it, it doesn't seem to make a difference. It could just be that it's a cheap one. I don't know. It's got a cutter thing that I have honestly only just discovered now. Oh, gee, that didn't work out very well. This insulation is a bit thick, much like yours truly. So, Maybe I can sort of cut this back a bit. No, I hear you all saying, no, don't do it. There we go. That might be more like it. I can probably sort of. There we go. Just like I bought one. All right, let's try the other one. Maybe this one will work better. Now, what's meant to happen with this is that you use this orange piece, you sort of flick it out, you flick this bit like that, and then you adjust how far with this little penis-shaped bit. You adjust how far, hold on, okay, how far you want the cable to be stripped, and then that's your stop. Unfortunately, when you've already got cable, it's a bit tricky. Well, that seems to have done all right. Let's try that again. I think what I did is I went the insulation up to the little stop, and then that grips it, and that one pulls the insulation off. Now I know this is super long, and I realize I should be doing that in the view of the camera. So channel recommendations, definitely Mario at the Woodfather, and you should have a look at his giant shoebox video and his hand tools cabinet video. And I think he did one about like making a shelf in his kitchen for the coffee machine and toaster to go on. Those are the kind of projects I like. I don't think I'm ever going to do hand cut dovetails and stuff like that. But anyway, there we go. Let's go. Motoring box in I think it's in Queensland. If you've watched Mighty Car Mods and you think, oh, they've kind of deviated from what they used to do, Motoring Box is a really cool little channel. When I say little, 20 times the size of mine, but that's okay. Riverside Woodworks, really enjoying watching those. Now I don't know how to say the name of the channel, but it appears like it's an Australian guy, and it appears like he is a teacher. I know. Oh, Colin Klupik is a tech studies teacher. He uses Festool tools, but I don't hold that against him. He's got some really interesting videos, particularly one about making a step stool that I've really liked. Let me just get, it is, Sawit. Sawit was a good one. Sawit, Sawit. I'll try and put these in the thing. Oojaga Pivy. Now that is OOJAGAPIVY. Again, Aussie, I'm really liking some Aussie content. Particularly, I'm trying to find, this is my new struggle, I'm trying to find Australian content that doesn't involve regular trips to a big green hardware shop. Because I don't have one, and I'm starting to, when you want to see yourself in, representation politics. I want to see myself in the content. So I'm starting to really concentrate on looking for those kind of channels. So if you know of, but then again, I also don't want, I'm kind of picky. I don't want YouTube channels that are just about milling your own, this is my bandsaw mill because I've cut down all these trees. Like I like Bo Miles' work, but I don't really get into felling trees and cutting the wood up to make from other things. But I do like recycling stuff. So go figure. And I would never consider myself a sort of greenie, but I do like the idea of reusing where you can. Particularly as I've gotten older and things have gotten extortionately expensive. So my mum asked for a mug tree, all right, and she wanted it made. I jokingly said to her, I'll make it from the most expensive wood that I can get. And there's a joke approaching. We actually ordered some wood at work this week, and we were both just blown away at how expensive it's gotten. And not just, I mean, everything's gotten expensive. I understand that. Inflation's horrible. That's the way of the world. Can I get that in there? No, I can't. Sorry. I'm trying to do this at face level. You know what's worse than trying to do things on camera? Trying to do them live on camera. That can make it quite tricky. But I think I might have that. There was a psychic fair on today. They had to put big signs up on the highway, so I'm guessing all the people that went to it were not psychic, because they needed to know where it was. Which make up your own minds. I don't mind the psychic fair, and I don't mind the well-being fair. What I don't like is the psychic and well-being fair, because I think both markets have got their share of. Now, I'm going to say their share of shills, right? I think one market has 100% shills, and the other one, 60 to 70% shills. But at least the other one has the, the intent to make someone's life. There you go. That's surviving the pull test. The intent to make someone's life better. I can't necessarily say that saying that you can, talk to dead people or that you'll tell their fortune or whatnot make someone's life better. That's just my opinion. You can absolutely disagree with me. But it's really sad that the psychic element has sort of infiltrated the well-being element of those kind of events, where I don't believe in the healing power of crystals or anything. But if people do things, and maybe this is where the psychic part comes in, people do things to feel better. If they genuinely feel better, can you argue with it? Whether or not you want to argue, well, there was nothing wrong to begin with, or you want to argue that, they only feel better in the short term. Feeling better is feeling better, I guess. But, I think that I'd love to see a well-being fair. I'd love to see a psychic fair. I don't like the crossover, because I think that having the well-being and the psychic fair it kind of gives people an audience of vulnerable people to peddle their shill wares to, and I think that's pretty unfair. There you go. That's just me. All right, so I'm going to have to go back and check the recommendations. So what I'm going to do, Ujaga Pivi, Saw It, Riverside Woodworks, which I think I mentioned last time as well. Motoring Box, loving Motoring Box at the moment. It's a really cool channel. What else is there? Fazio Electric. I've just discovered it's a lady in, I think it's either the States or Canada, who repairs guitar amps. Fazio Electric. Very cool. And for people that are into things that are a little bit different, especially if you're into like vlogs, that kind of stuff, there's a really interesting vlog. Let me get it. Oh, Colin Klupik was the other one. Where is it? I've just lost it. I had it here. Roll with Cole and Charisma. And Cole is a quadriplegic. Charisma is Cole's wife, or I should say is the wife of Cole. There's some really interesting little things about just everyday life that I suppose if you're doing the gratitude thing, that could be worth a look. If not, it's always interesting to find out how, the way that other people live their lives. So I suppose that's why reality TV has got its stranglehold on entertainment, but at least vlogs and stuff, it's slightly more real than, I suppose, than the information or the view that reality TV puts out there. So what are we at? 59.5 minutes. We have made it, everyone. That is the end. Oh, there is another project upcoming for Scott's Vac Shack, because I've just printed this. I'm going to do some filler on it and some painting, and I've got a nice bit of hardwood to mount it to. because he's surpassed 100 subscribers, and I want to give him a little pep. But yeah, for 59 and 51, we're going to get there. Okay, everyone. Next week, we'll hopefully be back at the same time. But until then, please keep your bananas where you can see them.